It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Brown of Advanced Real Estate Advisors.
I'm Kindra Brown.
And I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have 38 years of experience in real estate.
Sharing real estate tips and advice right here on Classic Hits 1073.
Hey, it's the Brian and Kindra Show.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I never know if you're just going to keep talking or if you're like ready for me.
Sometimes I'm like, I want to say something inspiring. And then I'm like,
can't do it.
June bugs come from groundworms. There's my inspiring thought
June
for the
bugs
day.
are my least favorite thing. Let me tell you a story.
My cats love them.
So does my dog.
You don't have to feed my cats.
Oh, and remember those moth things that we had like a few weeks ago? Remember
millers.
like the crazy... I don't like it when you talk like that.
You go ahead.
I think we had this discussion.
That's why I said that.
They are moths. I don't know why you've got to be that way. It's like, you're like, what can I do to irritate Kindra today? It's like, I don't know. I feel like
Water
you're
down the
boss.
coffee.
You're not supposed to, what did you say?
Water down the coffee.
coffee. I made the coffee. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Come in 5 minutes late. That's what I did there.
All right. So, moths, remember? Okay. So all the moths were gone. I told Nathan, do you remember? I was like, they're going to be gone by June. They're going to be gone. And they are. They're gone, aren't they? They're all gone.
Because
Something's wrong with that. They're pretty much gone everywhere else. Weird, Nathan. Interesting. Okay, anyways, so June bugs have taken their place, and I really despise June bugs because like those little weird little legs that they have, and I'm always like, they're gonna get stuck in my curls. Like, I don't like them. The other day, my dog, I was giving her all the wubbies, and I was like, you're such a good little tiny girl. You're the best little tiny girl ever. And I was giving her all the wubbies, and then I found a June bug stuck in her curls right there on my lap, and I thought I was going to die. I almost died. I legit almost died. June bugs, I hate them. Freaking hate those little things.
we have a spotlight on the outside of the house.
Yeah, cats do. They love them, don't
And
they?
it's like, tink, 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 tink. They're just hitting the garage door. Like, ding. Yeah, come in. Nobody's knocking. Oh, it's hearing things.
That's awesome. A couple years ago, I about wrecked because one was in the Jeep.
But you took that curb like a champion.
It was highway speeds. Thank you very much. All right. So anyway, it's fun. June 22nd. How are fireworks last week?
Well, fireworks are always great. Always great. And so
They are always great. I'm glad it's about fireworks season.
It
Or
is.
is fireworks
It
season.
is.
It's confusing. Like
Yes.
you're definitely selling them.
yeah, they're selling them.
Yeah. Super fun. Love it.
Yep.
So I got married so I could watch fireworks from my front yard.
Yes. But now you're going to come watch them. Well, yeah, that would be great. You know what's funny is before they built the house back there, we used to drive back in there and watch them.
I know, right?
Yeah, and we'd get in trouble for shooting them back there, but yeah, whatever.
Actually, though, so the last few years, it's kind of been this fun little thing. My son is almost always the one that goes and watches fireworks with me. And so we go early and we back into this one spot. I don't even know where we are. That'd be on the north side of Crystal Beach. And then it seems like the last few years, Ashley and Ron, Looking Bill and Josh also show up there. And it's been so much fun. Watch fireworks with them.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely
I
the
used to
highest
watch
form
it,
of
yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah, I used to watch them from the top of the building out at the fireworks stand.
That's brilliant.
We'd climb up there and watch them.
Yep. But you're a cat. Most people aren't
Yeah.
cats.
And then we would get rushed right after that. Everybody'd be like, oh my gosh, fireworks,
No, I
let's go
gotta
buy
'em
some.
all.
Shoot some.
They're probably thinking that you're going to give them a discount because you waited till after the big show.
If we have any left.
You guys have been selling out, haven't you?
Last year we didn't.
Yeah, but last
2
year,
years
like
ago
y'all
was crazy.
panicked and like crazy ordered.
Oh, we might have ordered a few too many. And that for 2 or 3 years.
Just give you a head start for
Hey,
next
we're
time.
ready. We're ready.
All right, so we talked last time about the contract, the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission contract that you and I use for most of our contracts with our buyers and with our sellers. And so we want to just finish that, but show our booklet, would you?
Okay.
So the Real Estate Commission also created this Oklahoma Contract Information booklet, and this is something that we think might be really helpful. It's got all of the jargon in it and explains all the different parts of the contract. Differently, I think, than what you and I do, because we kind of put in a little bit of our personal experience and things that we
Right.
see and how we try to address things. But this is like real estate commission says
like
legal
20 pages.
jargon. Here you go.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, and you want to read this, if you're struggling with sleep, hit us up. We'll get you a copy.
That's right.
You can also go to the Real Estate Commission website, and if you want, I can just text you a link. But you'd need to reach out and let me know. So 580-216-0090. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want me to tell you where to begin?
Let's start.
Okay, so we talked last week about the front page of the contract notes, whether or not we have any kind of an addendum. So if we have a legal description addendum, if we're having a loan, that comes with an addendum. If it's cash, there is no addendum for cash. It's just assumed that you're going to pay cash unless you say otherwise. We talked about earnest money, that's a buyer saying, I am sincerely interested in, I am earnestly purchasing this house. And so they put down a little bit of money, and then in return, in a sense, the seller also puts the house as earnest and takes it off the market. No more showings, no more offers, things like that. We talked about an end to the contract period whenever we would go to closing, when we'd have the process in which the deed is presented to the buyer from the seller, and so then ownership has changed hands. And then, my favorite, in addition to costs and expenses otherwise to be required, there's always costs associated with purchases or sales. And so Oklahoma Real Estate Commission says, make sure your agent tells you an estimate of the expenses that you're going to incur. So, all right, today, let's get started. We're going to talk about accessories, equipment, and systems.
Oh, yeah. This is...
I feel like this list has changed the last few years. We used to say, if it's attached, it stays.
Right.
And that's a little bit too general now. It's just a little bit too general.
Yes. Well, and there's things that are...
I think there's things that
attached
surprise people.
Yes.
That like they think, well, it's attached, but it's really mine. Curtains. Curtains shock the heck out of people.
Yeah, what the
Curtains
heck?
are supposed to stay with the property, but most people buy the curtains to match the couch.
Yes.
Or to match their bedspread or whatever.
Right.
And like they don't want to leave them.
And why would somebody want those?
I don't know anyway, because they're just dust catchers.
Yes. So there's a long list there. So just blow through quick, like obviously like light fixtures, ceiling fans, the infamous bathroom mirror.
Somebody schooled me on that.
So basically mirrors that are attached. So if they're hanging like a picture frame, are they included?
See,
In the
I'm all
bathroom
quiet
mirror,
because
yes.
I don't know the answers anymore.
But not if they are mounted, if they're attached. So back in the 70s, they glued them to the walls. There you go. Those are attached. If they
I
are
have those
hanging,
as well.
they're hanging, they are like a picture frame. So,
Okay.
Central vacuum, if anybody even knows what that is.
Hey, we've sold a couple of those. One of them even worked.
Yeah. So there you go. Some of them. All of the attachments, everything go with it. But why would you want to take them with you? There you go. That's weird.
Right. That would be an accidental packing.
Yes. Floor coverings, so they can't take the carpet.
Oh, that's
Ah,
sad.
weird.
Okay, so does that mean like the rug in the living room if you have a hardwood floor?
Nope. That would not be considered a floor covering.
Why? It covered the
Because
floor.
it says if attached.
Oh, if attached. Okay, thanks. My bad. Okay, this is a fun one lately. Keys to the property.
Keys. Do you have keys to your house? Please let us know. Because
Seriously.
nobody I know has keys. I have keys, but they're in a box in my drawer. And I don't know which keys go to what. Everything's coded. We just go in.
I have no idea if I have a key to where I live.
Yeah, we have garage door. We have garage door code. We got a front door code. We got a side door code.
I
Everything's
only
coded.
ever go in the garage. I never go in the front door. I have a key to my son's house, but I don't know where it is.
So this is if you have keys to the property, I'm assuming you give them. So if you don't have keys, you have to provide keys. Oh, man. That's a tricky question.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Now people can really be stewing on it.
Yeah.
Might come up at our next closing. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks. Where's
All
my
right.
keys?
Built-in and under cabinet or counter appliances. This one's really, really tricky because sometimes people, man, we looked at a house the other day. It's the nicest stove. So stinky. And it was like in a rental. And I went, whoa, that's a heck of a stove. And they said, we know, we really wish we could have taken it with us. A lot of times people want to because they do. They invest, especially if they're cooks. But the stove is supposed to stay.
Yes. And under cabinet appliances, so like a trash compactor, ice maker, if you have a
That'd be nice.
crazy expensive ice maker, if you're going to put your house on the market and you want to keep your ice maker, you take the thing out, put a cabinet door on it, something, cover the hole.
Right.
something.
Before it's listed.
Yes.
Yes. Freestanding slide-in or a drop-in kitchen stove.
Yep.
This one's gotten really tricky for us. Surround sound. Talk about it.
So it says built-in sound system and speakers. So if you have built-in speakers and you have a sound, it says built-in sound system. So if you have built-in speakers and you have the thingy that plugs it in, the receiver.
I don't even know how to help because I don't.
It's like a receiver, I think.
In fact, I zoned out when you started talking about technology and entertainment things. I'm like, can we just go outside?
Yes. Like the Twitter.
Nathan wanted to help, but he was so appalled by the use of the term thingy.
So
All right, so the receiver.
it needs to stay if you have a sound system. It's part of the property.
Okay.
Lighting, light fixtures, that's
And this is what I'm like, who took, I guess this is, once in a while we have had like where they had a chandelier or whatever, and they're like, no, that's mine, it's reserved.
Right.
Change out the fixture before we list it.
yes. Fire, smoke, and security systems, if owned.
That one makes me laugh. You know how I feel about the smoke detectors anyway?
Please take them with you. We're going to use them.
I'm happy to leave it. Don't expect for it to have been put up.
Right.
All right, shelving if attached. I think this one comes in the garage a lot of times.
Yes. And it's kind of messy because like most, garage attached shelving. So some people secure them to the wall, but they're not really attached.
Right.
So it could get messy. Again, it comes back to clear communication. If you're unsure and it is a must, you better just ask.
Right.
We'll put it in the contract.
Right.
Fireplace fireplace equipment, freestanding heating units. So freestanding heating units, this
I don't know
is
what that
a
is.
little tricky because like we don't have many of them around here, really.
What does that mean?
Well, like a pellet stove.
Oh.
It's freestanding and then it's ducted in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
So that should stay.
yep. So yeah, we just sold one of these. You probably didn't see it.
Probably
Didn't
not.
give you a shot. Didn't give anybody a shot. One person got a shot and they took it. Humidifier, if attached, again, right around here. Water conditioning systems, these are dumb because
What's that mean? They're dumb.
well, people either use
It's like
them.
a water softener.
Yeah, people use them or then they quit using them and then they just shut them off and then they leave them in the house and they're unused. And I'm like, oh, just get rid of it.
Yeah,
So-
it's stressful because then the buyer thinks, "Oh, yay!" and then it
Yeah, water
doesn't work, and
softener.
then it's
Please
discouraging.
pay- We just
Here
went
we
through
are.
this. Yep.
Yeah. All right. What else? Window treatments and coverings. We kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yep.
Obviously, you leave your blinds, but that also means that you leave your curtains.
Yep.
So if that's something that you want, we need to reserve it, or we need to get it taken down. Probably taken down would be best.
Right. This one's interesting. Storm windows, screens, and storm doors.
Yeah. Okay. So
back in the
somebody
day-
took the time to take those down.
Well, back in the day, you would go out and attach your storm windows to your house.
Oh.
then you would take them off.
Okay.
So, and they had the little clips that you would just hang them. And so, storm window screens, and then like storm doors.
Uh-huh.
So you can take the glass out and put the screen in. Like you should leave both pieces.
Interesting.
So, been in some attics, and I'm like, oh look, there's the storm screen. So
I did not even realize that was
Okay.
a thing.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma in Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
OnPoint Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 22 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call OnPoint Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or stop by 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
Garage door openers and the remote transmitting units. That's a fun phrase.
yeah, garage door openers.
Okay,
remotes.
so we have garage door openers in Sam's office right now that somebody forgot to send to closing, and they've now sent them for the buyer after closing. It's a big deal. People
Yes.
need their garage door openers.
Yes, actually, I have one of them in my pickup. I don't know whose it is.
Oh, that does happen
Yeah.
sometimes. We'll
'Kay.
figure it out.
I'm going to drive around town and click the
I know
button.
whose it is. I'll write it down for you.
Okay.
Okay, fences, including subsurface electric components. You know what? I'll be honest. I didn't realize that the electric fences were supposed to stay.
So it would be like subsurface underground. So like if you have a dog,
okay.
electrical fence underground. So if your dog runs across the line, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Mailboxes, flagpoles. This happened to us.
Yep, several times.
Now my flagpole at Meadowview, that thing. I'm not just going to be carting that thing around.
No.
I'll just have to put up a new one. But mailboxes, there was one that was decorative and really wasn't used,
And it
there was
wasn't mounted.
miscommunication.
And it wasn't mounted. It was just sitting on a platform. They built a base for it and they put rocks on it to hold it in place. Crazy.
But it looked mounted and it
Yes.
looked legit, and so it looked like it was part of the property. We didn't realize, buyers didn't realize, and so they were pretty frustrated. My brother was the other agent. Sis, we got a problem.
Yeah. No, we don't. Here's
We
your,
fixed it.
yeah.
All right, outside cooking units if attached. Okay, address that, please.
There are a few homes around town that have propane or natural gas cooking equipment mounted to their porches and decks. So that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
They got to be mounted.
If you own your propane tank, be prepared to leave that as well.
Owned, mounted. I'm not leaving my grill propane tank.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarification.
But-
We're talking about the one that services the house, not
Correct.
the one that serves your grill.
Yes.
Okay, TV antennas, satellite dish systems, controls, ...
If most people don't own those,
Nope.
you know, if you have your satellite dish it's still in your yard,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the big, 12-foot one, it still stays.
Okay. Sprinkler systems and controls.
Yep.
That's another one. I'm like, okay, somebody disconnected that and took
That'd be
it with
weird.
them. Okay. Seems like work.
Yes.
Swimming pool, spa equipment, and accessories.
Yes. That's easy. It's everything it takes to run and maintain that swim pool.
Okay.
So, like, you've got one of those
That means like
fancy,
the net and everything?
probably, yes. And then if you got one of those things that you use to clean the pool and it's at the house and we show the house, it stays with the house. So if you got one of them dolphin things that cleans
One
the
of those
pool and you're like,
vacuum
hey, I want to
lilies?
keep it, you get it out of the way.
Okay.
Don't have it at the house.
Interesting. Got it.
Okay.
Attached recreational equipment.
Just be like playground play
This
sets.
is like the tether ball.
In the tether ball, if
If
it's
your
mounted,
tether ball is set up, you got to leave it.
that's right. Or take it to Kindra's house.
Mike Gossett, tether ball has to stay at his house if he ever moves.
It is permanent. Permanent.
That's awesome. All right. Landscaping and lighting, exterior landscaping and lighting.
So this usually people don't have the energy to go undo all their
Not
landscaping.
really. Seems kind of crazy. But occasionally somebody's like, I really want grandma's rose bush.
Well, oh yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And so
And that's tough because you can't really just move those until you've got a
Right.
place to move it to. So we have to make sure that we reserve it on the multiple listing service, make a big,
Yep.
and really it's best if we can even leave a little sign that says, this grandma's rose bush, I need it to take it with me,
yep,
because sometimes it gets confusing. But be prepared to leave something else in its place
yes,
because things need to look right.
right. Entry gate controls, water meters. So this is interesting. Not city of Woodward, rural water. They have $1,000 membership fee to get a water meter. So if you move, in your deed, you are transferring the membership to your water meter.
Really?
Okay. So if they owe, like for instance, a renter leaves your property and they owe $800 in back water bill, it also transfers with the membership.
Oh, no.
So you can either pay for $1,000 new membership or you paid the old $800 water bill.
My mind is blown.
It seems dirty.
So really, if I'm going to buy a house with rural water, I might want to call in advance and say, what does this account look like?
Correct.
Can they tell you that?
Yes, I have an $800 bill on my desk.
My mind is blown.
Yeah. Yes. Now I can sue them,
The
renters, the tenants.
But me as a buyer,
you as a
coming in,
buyer, then yes.
not knowing any of this,
Right.
can I call the water
Yes.
department and say,
Hey,
hey, I need to know, are there
this
any
thing
outstanding
current?
bills on this?
Yeah, is it
How
current?
much?
Yep.
And then if they say yes, and the bill is $1,200, I can say, what do I do?
Send
And
me
they
a
say,
copy
"Buy
of
a
it and
new
put it on the
membership."
closing statement, or put it on the closing statement.
Oh, and make sure the other dude pays for
Yes,
it. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
Yes.
All right, next up, all remote controls if applicable. So we've talked about remotes for the garage, talked about remotes for the surround sound system and the receiver thingy.
Mm-hmm.
What else would we want a remote for?
Ceiling fans.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Ceiling fans. Man, y'all, if you have the ceiling fans with remotes, make sure the batteries work. Make sure that, did I say
They're
that
easy
weird?
to find.
I may have said that weird, but people know what I mean, right?
Yep.
Yeah, make sure they're easy to find. Make sure that the batteries are replaced. Make sure that they're easy to manipulate. If they're not, we need to find an alternative before we show your house. That is so frustrating to buyers because they immediately go, something's wrong, it's broken. Might be as simple as a battery.
Yep.
Let's make sure that those are in good functioning order and then leave them at closing.
Yep.
All right, transferable service agreements and product warranties. Okay, so this one, I don't ever think much about this because I'm the world's worst. You buy something at Walmart and you're like, yeah, I don't need any
Yeah.
warranty. Okay,
Well, and
but
you can get a lot of that online.
the roof is helpful to have, right? You know what I'm talking about with
Yeah.
the 30, 50-year shingles. What am I
Yes.
saying? Help me.
Yeah, the warranty.
Okay, so that, but I'm also thinking about the piers. Whenever we've had to have some foundation work on different properties, that was the most helpful thing. A seller was like, yes, we have a transferable warranty. And we're able to find their stuff, send it to us. And it really helps a buyer to be put at ease.
Yes.
Yes. So make sure you've got that handy.
Okay. How about refrigerators and freezers and washers and dryers?
Personal property, they go with me.
How about portable buildings?
I'm shaking my head because how portable is a portable building? More portable than you think.
You think they're moving one today on a house. It's going on the market. It's a 14 by 40. 14 by 40.
40.
And they're moving it. I said, you have to
Heck
get it out
no.
of there before we put it on the market. Okay, I'll get it moved today or tomorrow. $1,000 to move it. Yeah, but it is a $14,000 building. And it adds no value to the house.
It really, so that's what's tricky. So that's, man, I don't really want to go there, but I feel like you have to because you just said it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, whenever we, like, I have a really nice portable building at my Meadowview house.
Yeah,
It is
it's very
really
expensive.
I would really like to move it over to my new house. Like, I really like it. It's
Okay.
very nice. When I move, when I go to sell Meadowview, I'm not going to sell Meadowview. If I were to sell Meadowview, 100%, that thing does not give me an extra dime.
Very low. No, unfortunately.
It's nice, and a buyer's going to be thrilled because it's
Yes.
nice and it's set well and all that kind of stuff, but gives me no value,
Right.
none.
None. And that's the bad thing about it.
It's one of those
And
things
that's
where
why-
a buyer's going to appreciate it, but they can't really pay extra for it.
Right. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's moving it. And that's why, we ended up with your building and some of these other buildings is because they had no value to the property and we were short on money. And so we sold the buildings because they had value.
Right.
So,
All right. So, point being, if you are looking at a property that has a portable building,
let's write it in the contract.
let's ask for it. Let's make sure we get
Yes.
it written down.
Yep.
Refrigerators are not even
if you-
always negotiable.
Yeah. And if you're
Like,
selling your house and you're going to keep your portable building, let's go put a big sign on it.
Yes,
This
this
is
does
not
not
a
stay.
stay.
Definitely. All right. So additional inclusions, we have an option to the following items shall remain with the property at no additional cost to buyer. That actually gets tricky. Sometimes the lender will ask us to remove that, and then it stresses everybody out. But probably better to go ahead and do the extra paperwork than it is to fudge the agreement, right?
Right.
Exclusions, the following items shall not remain with the property. So recently we had somebody make an offer and they wanted some items to be excluded. So they could have written it here. They actually did theirs on a separate addendum, which is fine. But we could have written right here that the swimming pool, if you have an above ground pool and you want that sucker moved before you buy the property, you can ask for the swimming pool to be removed, right? Are you with me?
Yes.
It's not me this time, is
Nope.
it, boss? No, it's not. All right, time period specified in contract. Oh my, this part right here.
This is great.
This is all about a buyer's opportunity to do inspections. So we have a very specific time frame in the contract that we designate for that because we need to limit how long the buyer can stay in the contract and then back out.
Right.
And that's basically what this is. So we're saying, buyer, we want you to do inspections, any inspections that you want to. Home inspection, termite inspection, if you need to check the flood zone status, if you need to look at the roof, any inspection that you want to make, this is your chance to do it. But you only have a specified amount of time in order to do that and to be released from the contract based on your inspections. Otherwise, we're moving to closing.
Right.
Okay, so This is so many words.
It is.
You can either designate what day your time reference period begins on. So today is June 6th. If I feel pretty comfortable that I'm writing an offer today, it's going to be signed today, and I'm going to be under contract in the morning, I can write in June 7th, and I can give myself however many days I want to on this contract. It's a negotiating, it's all negotiable, right? But standard, 10 days if left blank. I can do that. I can type in a date and say, this is when my inspections begin. We get a little antsy with that as agents because we don't know how long it's going to take to negotiate your offer. Or even if we're sure it's going to be signed, maybe seller is sick and can't answer the phone and can't sign the document today. So we tend to leave it blank. And our contract says, if left blank, the time reference date shall be the third day after the last date of the signatures of the parties.
So if it was signed on the 1st, for easy numbers, if it was signed on the 1st, the time reference day should be 3 days after, and the date it is signed, the day after it's signed is day 1. So June 2nd is day 1. June 3rd, June 4th is your time reference date.
That's day 1 of the time reference date.
Yes. And
then I have 10 days.
So July 14th, June 14th is your last and final day to turn everything in. Except.
Well, we might talk about that when we're not on the podcast.
Okay.
I think actually they turn it in the next day. But it gets
really confusing.
That's
the last day of your
and
inspections.
It's super stressful. But you
You're
have
correct.
until June 14th to do your inspections.
Right.
So here's what we try to do. I want to schedule all of the inspections immediately.
Yes.
Like I want to, if you're doing a home inspection or termite inspection, I really want those done within the week because your home inspection might show something else. So it might say, hey, something was funky with the HVAC, or your roof has a lot of granule loss. I feel like you need a roofer inspection. Whatever. I'm saying that because we're fighting that a lot right now.
Yes.
So whatever the case is, I really want time for us to get a roofer back over there, to get an HVAC guy over there, to get a plumber back over there. It's not always possible, but that's what we try to do.
Okay.
All right, property condition disclosures. No representations by seller regarding the condition of the property or environmental hazards are expressed or implied other than specified in the Oklahoma Residential Property Condition Disclosure Statement.
And we'll probably have a show on that. In the near
We
future.
totally will. But short story is that the seller is going to complete property condition disclosures, most likely. They're going to present those in advance. You should receive those as a buyer before you sign your contract. Sellers, this is why when we take your listing that we harass the heck out of you to finish your disclosures, because I want to put those on the MLS so that when another agent shows up, they can give the disclosures to the buyer. We can get your offers quicker. So those are presented with the contract. So buyer writes their offer and they sign the disclosures. They can see everything that's right or wrong with the property as disclosed by the seller, give those back to us, and then we can submit the offer to the seller. We're really running out of time.
We are out of time.
Doggone it.
So a disclaimer real quick is just a form that says, I don't know anything about the property. Rarely should you see this, but if somebody is living in California and they inherit a house and they've never been in it, then, or a corporation or a company owns it, but they're also, they don't have to do them. If it's a corporation, they don't even have to do disclaimers. So there's some forms that. So all that being said, rarely you should see a disclaimer. There's very actual few, and that's why we're going to do a show over disclosures so you understand why and when they should be used. So
yes.
Thanks for listening. It's the Brian and Kindra Show. I'm Brian Cook, 580-334-2303.
Kindra Brown, 580-216-0090.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Your new favorite, Classic Hits 107.3 KLSI Moreland Woodward. Tell a friend.
It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Brown of Advanced Real Estate Advisors.
I'm Kindra Brown.
And I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have 38 years of experience in real estate.
Sharing real estate tips and advice right here on Classic Hits 107.3.
Hey, it's the Brian and Kindra Show.
Welcome. I never know if you're just going to keep talking or if you're like ready for me.
Sometimes I'm like, I want to say something inspiring. And then I'm like,
can't do it.
June bugs come from grubworms. There's my inspiring thought
June
for the
bugs
day.
are my least favorite thing. Let me tell you a story.
My cats love them.
So does my dog.
You don't have to feed my